Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Gary Slaight.
I'm honored to open up things this evening. I'd like to start by congratulating all the honorees tonight, my friends Steve Kane and Darren Throop, and another old friend, Don Schaefer, will be recognized tomorrow, and the Cowboy Junkies tonight. So it's a great lineup. I didn't forget you, John. A special congratulations to my longtime friend and occasional mentor, John Cassidy, who's going to be honored tonight. It's an honor to be here tonight to pay tribute to one of the most successful musicians Canada has ever produced, Bryan Adams. There was no stopping this musical tour de force after he released his first album in 1980. Bryan went on to blaze a trail through the music industry, topping international charts, selling out arenas, and making friends wherever he went. Count me among his friends. One of my favorite musical memories is having organized his Q107 Toronto Club Tour for that first release way back when. And Bryan, do you remember the Rondon Tavern? Some of you in the room probably do. It's not Bryan's many music accomplishments that are in the spotlight this evening. Tonight we pay tribute to his incredible humanitarian work. Bryan's global success didn't just allow him to connect with fans in far-off countries, it also opened his eyes to the hardships of life and the realization that poverty, sickness, illiteracy, and disease all exist around the world as well as here at home. When the music industry organized benefit concerts in the mid-'80s, Bryan was there lending his name, his songs, his enthusiasm for a variety of causes at a variety of levels. After the tsunami devastated Asia in 2004, Bryan decided to do something beyond the normal charitable response. He formed the Bryan Adams Foundation. It's not easy running a foundation, but with Bryan personally behind those causes he wishes to support, he sees firsthand the results of his contributions, whether it's food banks in Vancouver or cancer clinics in Lebanon. It's direct action at an individual level. While researching tonight's event, I was especially delighted to see the work that the foundation Bryan started is doing in Africa, where our foundation is also actively involved. My father, Allan Slaight, appreciates the magic it takes to create great music. He and I are especially proud of Bryan Adams, someone who turned a boyhood dream into a magnificent career, who has used that success to help the less fortunate, and who has passed on the gifts of hope and belief, and who has made a difference in countless lives. Bryan Adams, we salute you.
Bryan Adams' impressive career is marked by three major characteristics: a string of memorable hits, a strong and continuous work ethic, and a generous heart.
It's just part of my nature to want to do things like this.
The charitable events during the first half of his career, to which he lent his familiar voice and boundless energy, reads like a roadmap of the music industry's commitment to give back and create change. Northern Lights, Live Aid, Farm Aid, Nelson Mandela's 70th birthday concert, Greenpeace, and Amnesty International, to name but a few.
That particular time period, you saw that putting your name towards things was bringing a larger focus to a cause.
Even when Bryan turned his talents to photography in the 90s, he continued to give back, particularly to the fight against breast cancer. But it was when he formed the Bryan Adams Foundation in 2006, shortly after the tsunami that devastated Asia, that his generosity and commitment to those less fortunate hit high gear.
Instead of just giving money, I would start a foundation and I would allocate the money. Maybe it's just fixing one thing, one house, one school, whatever it is, and I'm going to concentrate and actually watch it develop and be there for it.
Search your heart. The foundation's motto is helping people help people. and it all started with a guitar that he signed and then asked other famous musicians to autograph. It was auctioned to help those in Asia, and it became the most expensive guitar in history. And since then, the foundation's and Bryan's charitable commitment has grown.
When I started it, there wasn't a specific purpose for the foundation so that I could pick and choose things as I went along. For example, I was invited to play in Lebanon. We did a show which we raised money for the American Cancer Hospital there for children. And if you were just to go to a country and just do your show and leave, you would never see something like that. You would never get the benefit of seeing these people and also to see what you were going to be helping.
It does remarkable work supporting a variety of projects around the globe.
I say that there's been no general focus for the foundation. However, there is really, and that is that primarily it's been helping children and it's been helping education.
Let's make it all for one and all for love.
Bryan's helped build schools in Africa, funded learning centers in India, raised money for those with hearing disorders, and brought attention and financial support to wounded soldiers.
My foundation is so infinitesimal compared to the great foundations that are doing good in the world, but I like to think that just a little bit of help is a good thing, and that's the whole purpose of it.
All for one and all for love.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this year's Allan Slaight Humanitarian Spirit Award, my friend Bryan Adams.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All right, Toronto, come on. Giving back is not something that's exclusive to people that have become successful. Working as I have with my foundation, I've met... What, you what? Oh, thanks. Working as I have with my foundation, I've met hundreds of people who dedicate their lives to improving the lives of others and ask for nothing in return. It's those selfless, unrecognized people that get little or no thanks that I credit an award such as this. So, the Slaight family own many of the stations that played my music and supported me and other young musicians. So I want to say to all the programmers and DJs who gave my songs a chance to be heard, thank you for that opportunity. And to Gary and your family and your foundation, thank you for this honor tonight and for continuing to support new artists. Come on, Gary. As I mentioned in that little film clip, I'll never be able to compare my little foundation to the likes of any of the other great philanthropic foundations. So why bother? Why bother connecting with people on all over the world on such a small scale? And it's because I discovered early on that, and I'm reminded as I watched that film, that lending my name to a cause, no matter how small, can sometimes become something much larger. This happened recently with this book of photographs I've made of wounded British veterans that came back from Iraq and Afghanistan. The book's called Wounded, The Legacy of War, and it's about as close to the battlefield as many of us will ever get. I wanted to bring the human aspect of these veterans to light, not covered up like they do on the news. I wanted it to be something real so that we could see what happens when we decide to take up arms against another group of people. Supporting the wounded and making sure that they're not forgotten became the most recent focus for my foundation, and lending my name to it raised awareness and ultimately a lot of money. So yeah. So it may not be possible to ever change the world, but you may be able to make it a little better for someone, and that's the point. And when I think back to some of the small generosities that were bestowed on me as a young man, they impacted me so deeply that I never forgot them. And I'll give you a couple of examples. When I was living in Ottawa, my soccer coach, I was about 13, kept barking at me to go get a good pair of soccer boots, and I never did because I couldn't afford them. And one day he showed up with a pair of proper shoes. And the other example was also in Ottawa, when the Lions Club showed up at Christmas and gave our family Christmas dinner when we couldn't afford it. Those people may never, sorry, thanks. Those people may never have been recognized for their benevolence, but they achieved something perhaps far greater in that they changed how I saw things. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everybody.